Hey guys, well, let's go into a little bit of party time, a little bit of data, a little bit of look back, and a little bit of personal planning on your parts. You've been hearing about this club. Many of you have been hearing about this club and receiving invitations to it since 2015. In fact, we had only 63 people who would get emails on this AVID meeting in 2015 when we started. And over time, people have ebbed and flowed and come on and gone off. And of course, not everybody shows up, but that grew to 365 members in 2016. We did not do Zoom when we first started. And there's actually a good handful of people who were on that first year of membership list who are still coming today. And two of them are sitting right here. Put your name on one of those pieces of paper. We're going to put it in the hat later. But Tom and Janice, you've been coming here from the beginning.
My time goes by.
And some of the top attendees, well, we have a lot of top attendees, and Alan, you've been a top attendee. We take it to, like, you guys sign in and we keep track of who's coming, and you've been coming for a while, and based on that, that's got your number of meetings number is pretty high, despite your busy travel schedule. You've been here a lot. Shane Trapp, he's probably number one, and he missed today. And my joke is that just like when he was in school and didn't want to be too nerdy, he'd take one day off of school to not get the perfect attendance award. And I'm like, what, did you know you were going to get called out for good AVID showings? Yeah. So there's a lot of you who, and then for folks who've come more recently, Chelsea, you've been crushing. There's just been a lot of you who've been coming a lot recently. So anyone who's been coming a bunch, and you know you've been coming a bunch, write your name on a piece of paper and put it on in the front there. Add your name to the list.
Start.
You guys don't count. And you've been coming too. You guys put your name on a list if you've been coming a bunch. Okay, so our goals have been, oh wait, is this when we do the champagne toast?
Oh, yeah.
We'll do a champagne toast. Cheers to making us get to 100 meetings. That's a big deal. So if you don't want champagne, we also have sparkling water. And if you don't want sparkling water or champagne, just turn your glass upside down.
None of those pictures are viable. Oh, no, there's some.
Leslie's opening the champagne. Is anyone doing sparkling water?
Give me a dab.
Of the sparkling water or the champagne?
The sparkling water.
Did you want the dab in the glass or next to the glass?
I would have some champagne.
Okay, sparkling.
You can fill my cup to the top or something.
Okay, Jocelyn wants a double.
Okay, so my most recent experience with this
Watch your eye out.
was my daughter couldn't get the bottle open when she graduated, and so her friend produced a machete. And she just took the top off.
Made for great video.
It was a great video, but this top is,
twisted.
yeah, it's. Yeah, go ahead.
I know.
Jocelyn, where's that extra glass? Like, she can put it. Okay. In the glass or out of the glass? That's the question.
Yeah. Burger pictures. Yeah, it's beautiful. See the picture? I did. And I got okay. Yeah.
So cheers to you for making an investor club a success for 10, 11 years and 100 meetings running. Thank you all for being here and a part of it. Salud!
Thank you for hosting it, Stacy. You're the heart.
Salud! Well, and you guys are helping host now, so. It's messy, but. When you pour it like I do. Okay, so. We've wanted connection, education, and results, and hopefully that's what you've been gleaning from coming to these meetings. Members have received countless connections, experiences, resources. Hopefully a lot of you have received resources. We hear just the murmurings. There's stuff that we don't hear, but we've also received a lot from AVID Investor Club. In fact, we've had 75 either deals, referrals, or offers across time coming out of AVID Investors Club and the members. If you have been one of those deals or referrals, or even had us write an offer for you, put your name on that piece of paper and put it in the middle. And thank you for that.
What if you sold me my house?
You guys can play. Yeah, go ahead, put your name on the paper. It's not fair to exclude you guys, so you go ahead and put your name on the paper, and you can put it on for that 2015 data too. Go ahead, throw one in the middle, because there's a lot of plans to go around. Oh, and then has anyone here presented to AVID? Not yet, but we might get to hear about a foreclosure presentation soon.
Does my husband count?
Yeah, sure. Shane had presented. Shane presented to AVID once, but again, he slipped out with like he heard there was a spotlight and he dodged it. So what have we learned? These are all of the meetings that we've hosted over the years, individual meetings. We've had some updates that have been similar, like we've had attorneys come back or an accountant come back, but there have been a lot of highlights from a lot of these meetings. I couldn't list them all off the top of my head, although we do actually have a highlights playlist on YouTube where you can see the last 2-minute recap of some of these meetings. But what have we talked about? We've talked about property management. We've talked about maintenance, resources and maintenance, a general contractor, Jesse Tree in terms of a resource for rent for unperforming tenants, CoStar, exit strategies like Tony Dross is looking at where does he take it next? He's been in the business a long time. How does he want to exit and what are some of his options? 1031 exchanges. We've talked about AI and how to start integrating that into real estate, and we'll probably need to do that one again. And even looked at some of First Rate Property Management's key performance indicators in terms of how they're measuring success. Maintenance is a topic that changes and shifts over time and the things that we're doing in our rentals. We've had the gratitude parties in November. That's a repeat meeting where we just try to make it a little bit light and fun and do the market update, which was so popular, we went on to incorporate that into almost all of the meetings, having a mini market update. We've discussed insurance, rehabs, attorneys, Delaware statutory trusts, and Boise cities come to speak to us about growth and development that they've seen. Mountain West IRA came and talked about self-directing IRA funds. Home Enhancement Company is a staging company that helped us understand not only design trends, but also how we could use virtual staging on some of our photos for a more cost-effective way to make empty photos not so empty. Adding units and ADUs, smart growth with Deanna Smith. Looking at old properties, comparing them to new properties and seeing what really pencils better when old properties come with greater maintenance and new properties come with home warranties. Creative financing, and then also creative, Trisha spoke from Neighborhood Solutions on creative acquisitions like wholesaling and energy efficiency and energy audits. Fire, financially independent, retire early. Partnerships. Pets have always been a really hot topic among landlords. And Logan Miller from Our Pet Policy is a great speaker we might want to have back sometime because he can actually make sure those companion pets are legit and weed out some of the fake ones. And then, of course, keeping up on the accountings and the write-offs. Rent rocketeers, we figured out how first rate was garnering a $300 per month difference in rehabbed units versus non-rehabbed units, and some of the more strategic and efficient decisions that they used to get that extra rent. Of course, short-term rentals. We've looked at those and compared how short-term rental and a long-term rental would perform and how they would compare and contrast. And that's something we're even circling back around to now. And Jocelyn's looking at that again, where we can take an actual finances on a short-term rental. Because those are really hard to plug into a pro forma, at least our template, since your vacancy, et cetera, is different. We've looked at modular and prefabricated units and how to add those onto additional land if you have them. And we even had a national speaker, the secret to senior housing, come and talk about how you can do senior housing in various places. Interestingly, you guys, in terms of the feedback that you give us on meetings, that meeting had lower feedback, even though we had this national speaker come. You basically said, you know, it sounds like this person's teaching you how to buy yourself a new job, and we already have jobs as investors and we're not looking to have another job, but that was your kind of feedback on them. So you've really seemed to enjoy the local connections and local people we've had speak. Syndication epics. Your feedback suggests that you really like the case studies, and a lot of us have shown and shared our personal stories. Shane spoke and presented on our personal investing history and experience along the way. And Doug Boland spoke on commercial. And we've looked at owner carry and some of the pros and cons of owner carry, and how in the right or wrong scenario, how that would carry through. And you can end up, if they don't perform, having to foreclose on your own property, and then what you do in those situations. And so the next follow-up to that would be maybe looking at it after that has happened. And finding success amidst tightening returns. I wonder what year in the history that was, and how that would go now. Cash versus leverage, and really learning in that meeting how, as much as investing is a numbers play, an individual's relationship with investing and how to run those numbers is as unique as as an individual's relationship with money. And we all have a very personally unique, it's not as cut and dried. There's a million ways to look at it. Leveraging the equity, cash flow, how to get better tenants for better results and the least amount of liability, analyzing apartments, how to choose a property management company. We have a 12-question questionnaire that we still reference and share, which is a worksheet that came out of that meeting. And we had a vendor fair where we introduced you to a variety of different tradesmen who you might need as you're working on your own properties. We gave you a due diligence checklist that exists, and ways to really make sure or choose from the due diligence when you're buying an apartment. And then actually had builders come, including a representative from ESI, to talk about the costs of building if you had vacant land and comparing building versus buying. Running the numbers, we've looked at pro formas and various ways to run the numbers. Funding investments, and had a panel of different types of lenders. Hard money, Mountain West IRA using 401k money, regular money, and debt service coverage ratio. And 1031 exchanges. Phew. Okay, that was a long list. Okay, so here's where we ask for your feedback. And in front of you, oh wait, no, sorry. A lot of you in your feedback have suggested meeting topics. If any of those topics sound familiar, or like one that you've suggested in your feedback forms, or it might be, go ahead and write your name on one of those little pieces of paper and put it in there. But what I'd like to ask you, now that we've gone through that long list of meetings, is to consider some of your favorite topics or some of the key learnings or golden nuggets of information. I feel like there's always a golden nugget of information we get out of each meeting, or a couple of them. And put on the third piece of paper in your pack in front of you is a feedback form. And usually we do that at the end. But now that we've just recapped all those meetings, which ones do you like? Any ideas for the future? Where should we take it next? Have you had particularly helpful connections or deals come out of this club? Take a moment. We'll give you a couple minutes, write it down. And if you want to see the highlights from any of those meetings that we just mentioned, I just noticed that our YouTube highlights playlist link that I've been sharing is not exact and right, but the better one is bit.ly/highlights AVID. And you'll find any of the recorded highlights videos from those aforementioned meetings. And then we'll go to the look back in time, where you'll have another 1 minute writing assignment or 3. Set timer for 60 seconds.
60 seconds starting now.
And folks on Zoom, I know you don't have the piece of paper in front of you, but you can feel free to put it in the notes if you wanted to share this information. I'm assuming this piece of paper that you're writing on now would be shared. Or you could send us an email, however you want to take a minute to share ideas for the future or favorite meetings, things you've learned along the way, anything that we should highlight and take note of as you've brought us to 100 meetings. Hey, does anyone want to share any of the highlights that they've thought of or anything from their forum?
Well, I would like to say just the total education. Nothing in particular, but everything.
So the comprehensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think we can read that back here?
No.
I'd say maybe this meeting's allowed people to go with a broader perspective than what your own perspective might be, at least in our case.
Broader perspective. Anything else?
Contacts.
Contacts. Leslie, will you check the Zoom notes and see if anyone wrote anything in there for us? Anyone else? Okay, any suggestions on where we take it next that you want to share? Okay, then we will go right to the next topic. Remember that look back in time I promised? Let's think of where were you in 2015? We can ish this, 2015-ish. Things to consider. On the second sheet, the one under the pro forma, you have a open brainstorm chart, and it's a scribble board. You got a whole bunch of little scribble things to do here. Think of 2015, maybe where you were, maybe what you were making, maybe how much real estate you held, maybe how much real estate you wanted to hold back at the time, maybe what sort of real estate you were entertaining or considering entertaining. And so goals, obstacles, strengths, strategies, regrets at that time, values, connections, education, risk tolerance. Anything goes. It's brainstorm style. This sheet will be private just for you. We'll do the same thing. You can share it. But just take a minute to think back about a decade ago, where you are compared to where you are now, where you were. Set timer for 60 seconds.
60 seconds starting now.
Would you like to take on the floor? It's been a day. You will just twist my rubber arm, go ahead.
I forgot to share a pretty interesting update on the short-term rental stuff whenever you want me to share that.
Okay, great. Twenty 2015. Ish. Is anyone willing to share any thoughts about where they were then?
So I just bought the house that I am currently living in almost exactly this time. Bought it for under 300,000. And the house next door to me just went pending toward just under $1 million.
So 2015-ish, you had maybe, I'm just gonna make up a number off of that. This is brainstorm style. I'm gonna say minus 700K in single family home equity. You had $700,000 less in equity potentially when you were buying your house. We had, maybe at the time, we had about maybe 10 doors. Maybe not. We probably had about, yeah, we had about 11 doors. Shane and I had 11 doors in 2015. And we had a goal to replenish some losses from 2008. So that was a regret. Replenish 2008, which was a regret. And we had losses in 2008. And then we had a goal to make Micron income optional. Because you know those engineers, some of you know those engineers, some of you are engineers. They're not the touchy-feeliest types of like, good job, attaboy at work, are they? And sometimes Shane would come home from work and just say, oh, this is a month I'm definitely getting fired. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to make it so that doesn't matter. So you're okay either way. So you don't have this not enough, positive reinforcement hanging over you. And we're going to make up for that first little time we tried real estate to my encouragement and I helped you fail. We're going to make that up. And so that's where we were in 2015. Anyone else want to share where they were?
Well, I can go back further.
Go ahead.
I always figured there wouldn't be social security around, so I figured I better have my own social security.
So optional to make social security income optional.
Yeah.
That was your goal. Okay. Any other goals back in 2015? Jocelyn?
I mean, I was a junior in high school. And I was actually joining a MLM under my mom's name. So I could sell some supplements and make some money. And then my poetry teacher was like, you're crazy, you'll never be an entrepreneur. And I am going on my 10th year working in sales and I'm a business owner now, so that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So to prove your poetry teacher wrong and be an entrepreneur. I love it. Great. Terry, you got anything? You want to share?
Just wanted to get in 15, I was still in the corporate world and handling these apartments, so I wanted to get out of the corporate world and I wanted to get all the apartments paid off, but then I owned at that time, so.
So exit corporate and pay off apartment. And did you own
And
fewer?
and stay married all at once.
And did you own fewer units back then?
Oh, I own more, actually sold some. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was it your goal to sell any?
No,
Okay.
I ran out of, my wife ran out of time for me, so I need to make more time, so
Mm-hmm.
there's a balance there.
Okay.
Okay.
So one of your challenges was time constraints. You were
Oh, yeah, you're raising three
strapped.
kids, yeah, absolutely. Raising three kids, one in a corporate job, 60 hours, and then you're doing, handling many doors all at once. 80-hour weeks were the norm for many years.
Mm-hmm. So that was an issue. Time constraints, working 80 hours a week.
And try to manage everything yourself.
Yeah. And DIY management.
Yeah.
I was doing DIY management in 2015 for sure. Did not like that. Okay. So that's where we were in 2015.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any feedback about that? We were kind of just talking about DIY management, like you learned some skills probably, but do you wish you went to professional management sooner or don't regret it or?
I don't regret it, but I'm a guy I'm a blue collar guy from Detroit, so I was raised part of the ranch. So for me, I mean, YouTube is my best friend. I didn't have it back in the day, but now if I want to change on a hot water heater, you know what I mean? But I didn't take the time. You can learn anything. You want to get on the roof and change the roof, you can learn it.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to do it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't. And I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, but it's it saves you a lot, it makes you a lot of money. You know what I mean? It saves you a lot of money. And then you can utilize that money and have to go paying off. Putting major chunks of money down on those mortgages,
Well, not water heater at a time goes a long way.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can, nowadays, all you guys know how much labor costs nowadays, touch anything.
I'll maybe contrast that with, I used to do all my own maintenance and I found that by having somebody else do it and me managing it, I can make way more money doing the investment side and finding the next deal. Just a contrast, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think Tom would say, get yourself a Danielle and take her to lunch and you get all of this lovely advice.
I've done it, I've managed both ways. I always like DIY most of it, but then I would. How do you decide? Just like an expertise plumber, what the. Yeah, I'm remodeling a home, like the temple. Oh, sure, yeah, but not property by property. No, it would just come up by project specifically. But then you get to, I guess, work with different people and learn how to make mistakes and how to correct those mistakes. Save some money.
I found that I think that this is a great comparison and contrasting of different experiences, and I think that's great input. For me, it was scaling. It was time, like I did it until I couldn't and toppled I'm a blue collar gal from Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. And I never felt confident enough, and to this day, I've never felt confident enough to change my own hot water heater, but I did change the heating element in a hot water heater on my own and did some trips to the hardware store on that. And the YouTube and the researching it, and my first house was a fixer. And so I was like, well, I'll call for help when I need it, but I'm going to do what I can. And I found that a lot of times it's just time and action, and things like painting back then was something I could do myself. So I did it until it was holding me back from further potential and until it made me hate real estate investing. And what I've found as an agent, looking at it less personally, is when my phone rings and someone's like, that's it, I'm selling my rental. It's because they just had a crappy tenant experience and they don't actually mean it. And we get them through that crappy tenant experience if there is a bad one, and then they're ready to be investors again. And so, but invaluable was the experience of DIY management was absolutely invaluable to me. And it made me more annoying, I'm sure, to work with as a owner. because I know how I did it, and it's not always as realistic to expect a company to do it how you did. In fact, sometimes there's things we probably did that don't fit into the check boxes of ways that a company even would be legally able to do it. You know, if you noticed somebody was, you know, a junk show or you didn't vibe with them and didn't rent to them, well, that better fit in a checkbox from a fair housing perspective. So I think DIY management is great. Meetings like this and IROMA are great to help expand your knowledge of DIY management. And then it makes you a smarter, more savvy owner when you're finally like ready to sell all your real estate. Don't sell it. Just hire a property manager. Other thoughts on that? Other input?
I
Okay.
sold most of my stuff.
You were DIY manager.
Yeah, well, I built a home in Fall in 2010 and, for 2015, that was the, so I lived there for like 10 years, but I bought the lot at Ford House, so but, yeah, so we had some pretty good equity in it, but I wish we never would have sold that. So it was not like a crazy home, like 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, you know, just like that home over.
So maybe one of the things would be selling,
Yeah.
and that's a regret. Because it'd be easy for any of us who sold anything in 2015, even though it made sense and we probably made money off those profits, to look at it now and look at the prices now and consider that a regret. But also, what did we do with that money? Yeah, okay. So we'll do it one more time, or 2 more times, actually. The present is a true gift. I mean, we're all, to be in this room and to be able to talk about this stuff, it's easy to forget sometimes, especially when you're getting a phone call about some dumb leaking toilet. What a gift it is that we're even here, that we're together, that we have the liberty of taking this time in this evening to spend and learn and collaborate. So box 2 on your checklist, let's take a minute. For those online without the checklist form, brainstorm, scribble on a piece of paper or wherever you'd like, or what are your goals now? Where are you in your real estate career now? And go ahead, include personal stuff on there. These sheets are yours. You don't have to limit it to investment income, but it'd be fun to compare how many doors do you have now versus how many you had then, or what sort of passive income do you have now, or what sort of savings do you have now? What are your regrets, your successes, your inspirations, your connections? Go ahead, start writing if you're thinking about it, and I'll be the voice in the background that'll add a few more things. Obstacles, your holdings, what kind of deals you're doing. What kind of deals do you want to be doing? You weren't doing the same type of deals in 2015, Alan, as you're doing now. And what type of deals, you know, what are those going to look like? Your values, inspirations, connections, 60 seconds. Set timer for 60 seconds.
60 seconds starting now.
I don't think I was talking on the phone 10 years ago. Telling it to do stuff for me.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should be filling out this form too, since you get to put your name on a piece of paper.
I haven't yet, but yeah. Oh, is he still on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have one. Doesn't have to be limited to. Okay. So I'll start, 2026, where we are now, I think. The way we kind of added up, we're calling it 45 doors. One of them's raw land, so it doesn't really have a door, but we're going ish. And we replenished those losses of 08. We did that. I also in 2015 would have been just getting rolling in the active licensed portion of real estate. And so my goal would have been to make that happen, and that would be a check mark in 2026. Did that. Janice, did your Social Security income become optional? Absolutely. Check. Okay. Did you prove the poetry teacher wrong?
I'm getting there.
I'm gonna just put a check mark because I see you and I work with you. And you proved that poetry teacher wrong. You may be on the upward swing getting started in real estate, but it just says, and you're already crushing it, but it also says entrepreneur, and you've been crushing that even before real estate, and you own your own short-term rental business. Don't y'all think she gets a check in that? Yeah. Yeah.
Or two, she
Yeah,
got two.
I
things.
agree.
Put your name on the piece of paper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Terry, did you get out of corporate?
I did, yes, 5 years ago.
Congratulations. Check. And did you pay off some stuff?
All of it.
Yeah, nice job. Okay. Time. Did you find some?
I'm still married. My goal is to now learn to have fun and to become more accepting of a outside property management company who my knees can't take.
Consider
Different chapter.
consider a PM. Well, if
Yeah.
you do, we've got a 2017 list of questions to ask your outside property manager for screening. The 12 quintessential questions for your property manager. And you've got folks in the room who'd love to answer those questions. And the room, first rate, would love to answer those questions for you. So hit me up for that form if you want it. What else? You got something. I know you got something, Alan.
Oh, well, now all our properties are under a property manager except one, and they're all kind of in the orbit stage, and we fish a lot.
Fishing. So now you're fishing.
What's that?
You're fishing.
Yes, Sunday we caught Dorado and sailfish.
I think I have a goal.
We did a little better.
We've made very smart decisions since 2015 on personal property. Our house that we bought in 2015 doubled that we sold back in July. So we bought what was our dream home then, now allowed us to buy our dream home now. So this year's really focused on buying our first investment property. I think we're about halfway there.
First investment property. Cool. Okay. Goals, regrets, successes, status, more doors, more passive income.
I think one of the goals or regrets is, and you mentioned it with the engineering side, and maybe with what you said is, it took me too long to pull the trigger on. I'm not enjoying corporate life. I'm not enjoying engineering. I'm not enjoying management. Go do what you really like, entrepreneurial thing, and that's a regret.
Yeah.
I feel like I should find the red marker for that one. Waited too long.
My partner recently had an epiphany that life was not a destination, but an experience. And he's always had like, I need to get through this goal, and I need to get through this goal. And he's an engineer, and he's like, he never sits down. And he just recently was like, I need to not make life a destination, but make it an experience. And it's changed how he's approached things.
Engineers are used to a lot.
Oh, they're just so,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got that right. I love them, but boy, I tell you what.
Life is the destination. Life is the journey. Life is the point. Living it to our best is the point. So not putting off what you're called to do and just doing it. I mean, that may be the best thing on this board so far, in my personal opinion. But you don't have to top it. What else you got out there?
I wanna be able to give my kids like a nest egg when they turn 18.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what college is gonna cost by then and whether or not they wanna go to college. I just wanna get them kind of something to start.
Inspiration, the kids, the next generation. Make sure they can own a home someday. Make sure they can do what they want. Set them up for success, since we've had a fairly opportunistic economic climate to be a part of, depending on what we did with it. That's, I mean, huge. That's also another star as to why business is personal. This isn't just business. These are our lives. This is what we're doing with it. Yeah.
I kind of tossed around what I actually want it to be, but today I chose 7. So I would like 7 more doors.
7.
Yeah.
7 doors. Did you please write that down?
I did.
Sweet.
7 more
You
doors.
achieve your goals if you write them down, or some statistic with greater percentage, with greater probability. Just having the goal out there, writing it down, acknowledging it is already putting it into motion. And so that's part of the reason that this is not just a whimsical look back or look ahead. It's actually putting the next set of goals in action. What else?
I think we had a regret. We owned property and fixed up a property on Harrison Boulevard. We sold it. Should have kept it.
Selling it. Sold Harrison.
Oh, these look through.
Okay. Well, let's.
There's a big regret. Regret, and again, you gotta go through it. You guys are all in different chapters of your life. Okay, and I've got 3 kids, all in their 30s, and not one of them want to pick up the pieces that I've been done.
Oh.
I have painted a picture, obviously so negative. Because I work 80 hours a week. But if you want your child to be involved in it, boy, you better engage them.
Oh, I
To me, that's just heartbreaking. You do all this and then they don't want it, they just want to live. It's like,
Well,
you know,
you try to make a kid help you paint and they spill the paint back upon purpose.
I didn't do that so far, but they. Anyway, you gotta, it's important. Well, you got a lot of people, a lot of businesses that the kids don't follow. They just don't follow the business, because, they say, oh, it was too hard what they did.
Well,
What they-
My dad, did his dad's farm, like 60-acre apples and pears orchard for his whole life. I watched him. Obviously, he was not home a lot. I didn't see him a lot. My brother and I watched that and how tired and stressed out he was. We both went into banking. And then we, he kept farming and farming to the point where we were like, are you gonna retire or are you gonna have an accident on the farm, So we encouraged him to liquidate. But I think from that perspective, it's like you just want your dad around, you just want him, to spend quality time and not be be so stressed out.
Is it something you love?
Yeah,
Okay, there it is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If it doesn't feel like work, it's not work. It probably
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, it's
My
a hard
perspective.
transition for him.
If you like what you're doing, you ain't
It
working.
ain't working. That's right.
If you like what you're doing, you ain't working. And if it's something you love and you're invested in, and are the people you love there for you, or are you watching them work too hard or harder than you want to work? And those are priorities, doing work we love, being with the people we love. And the kids aren't going to model us.
Do you worry what will happen to your properties when you die and the kids don't want them?
2031 goal, 1031, okay, a property on the water in McCall and put it as a irrevocable trust. They can't touch them.
Damn.
It's for the grandkids, whatever they want to do with it, but it's good. It ain't, they're not selling it. That's what. It's like, it will always be worth something on the water there, so,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It will, 100%.
Well, that my wife, no, you like my wife, she got a whole story. That's my goal.
Well, let's support your goal, Terry. We'll move into 2031 next because that was a brilliant segue. But does anyone have a regret on holding something they should have sold? Okay.
If I would have seen, talked earlier. If I would have seen the change coming with COVID and what happened with rents doubling in the last since COVID. And the demand and what the expectation is from the younger group, younger generations. I have been remodeling, taking it down to bones, which I did 20 years. The last 5, everything I have open, I'm gutting kitchens, I'm gutting bathrooms, I'm upgrading everything. 20,000 a year, and doing it all myself. Okay, and just doing one by one, usually 3 a year, I'll do. I should have upgraded and built brand new plane, sold it all and built and, went up to the new models.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they all want. They want it all new.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Right? Well, so.
My fiance would say yes.
And they'll pay the rent, and they'll pay the rent, and they'll pay the rent for it. It was like, wow, they'll pay the rent. If I upgrade it, they'll pay the rent. So it's like, well, duh, gotta get to work. Upgrade.
So not trading, so holding, so a regret on holding instead of trading for new.
Right, because right now, I mean, to do it, to change it out, you're gonna spend 100 grand. You're gonna hire it done, you're gonna spend 100 grand upgrading. You know what I mean? A simple 2-bedroom, 2-bath place.
Bam, 35,000. Gone.
East, gone. It's like, wow. It's like, we're better off just to build. So.
Does anyone else have a regret on holding? Because I've heard a lot of regrets on selling. And I was actually trying to support your point of saying, hey, we got a lot of regrets on selling, but not many regrets on holding. For ammunition for your wife, we could say, hey, no one's regretting holding, but you gave an example. Any other examples on regretting holding?
I don't know if it's a regret holding or buying, but when I bought in 2024, I still always like, was it the right time? Did I overpay? Everything's so much more expensive than it was 10 years ago. Is my investment just gonna go down the drain? So I just think that, I don't know, I hope the next 10 years look like the last.
Did we look at your money?
Yes, no, never.
Yeah, that's hard, especially from the seasoned perspective. I mean, it's hard to look at when we were buying in 2015 and looking at prices now. I think that's a huge obstacle, the prices today. What do you guys think? Where's the opportunity in investing for Danielle and Jocelyn now where the median price of homes is not actually 200,000? Where do you see opportunities for Danielle and Jocelyn?
I invest out of state and there's lots of value add opportunities. I know this is a broken record thing for me. And there's still value add where you can add huge amounts of equity,
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere, if you're willing to do it remotely, that kind of thing.
I mean, I agree, you know, you can get a lot more house.
Midwest doesn't appreciate that, so the question is like East Coast, there's still some appreciation.
Yeah, my brother, I grew up in New Jersey and my brother was in Pennsylvania and I've been thinking about buying something out there for him to put up.
And there are still value add opportunities in this valley too, and there's guys that do it all day long, every day, they're hard work.
They are harder. And that's what I've wondered too, you know, is that an answer? Since when we were all getting started, we had less money and then we used real estate to make more money. And so now if we want to buy a whatever, now $1.9 million fourplex, we probably could, if we could get over the offense that fourplexes cost more than $1 million. But when you're earlier in your career, you don't have the resources for that. And so to Alan's point, going out of state, if you can go somewhere where you get a house for something that starts with a 1 or 2, that's a way to get a foothold in the market.
The other thing I found, Stacy, with just a little bit of experience, either as one or a partner, there are unlimited amounts of capital out there. There is no constraint on a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Out of state partners, there's no limit, because there's always somebody who wants to rely on your Midwestern work ethic and make some money on their money. You know, if they believe you that you can get it done, you know, you get one chance to do it. I mean, maybe not, but you know, you gotta follow through. But then once you follow through and make someone some money, they're always willing to give you more. Mm-hmm. Other people's money.
Yeah, so many doctors and lawyers work 80 hours or 100 hours a week, and they have a ton of money and a ton of taxes. And here you come in.
Other people's money.
I think this is kind of niche, I guess, but I wish we had met a few years earlier because joining the team has changed my life the last few years. When I was during COVID, primarily working with first-time home buyers, and getting into the investment side and being able to use the knowledge I had has opened up so many doors where now I'm going to be able to purchase hopefully quite a few investment properties between now and 2031. So I think everybody needs to open up their minds a little bit on, you know, investments during single families, and, you know, it's okay to switch avenues and doors, because I was so focused on, I only wanted to help first time home buyers, and I'm changing my mindset, and meeting you was to advice. So
Yeah, girl. That was so sweet, wasn't it? Oh. Well, cool. And that's AVID too. You know, that's all of the folks in this room. You've been coming here. Meeting me is meeting all of us.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. All right, guys, 2031. We've seen it. We've done it. It's been 11 years.
Well,
Where do we want to be in 2031? Do you liquidate now? Do you liquidate later?
we were just saying we might not be here.
Well, we sure hope you are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Still walking and talking to you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Making hopefully, I mean, maybe that's one of your 2026 goals, making the most of every moment while they're here. Because that's nobody's promised tomorrow, no matter how old or young you are. None of us know when we're going to get run over by a beer truck, as we say at Swope. Okay, guys. So we're going to do it again. 2031. Here's your Cedar questions. What is anything and everything you want? Income, other goals, obstacles, where you'll focus your time, how you'll fund your life that you want, how may it be different, what kind of real estate had you done, what kind will you do in the future? I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Hesitations, fears, hold back. What do you think if you were to go into the future but look back to now? So let's pretend it's 2020 31 and whatever, and look back to now. Is there something you think you might regret? Write that down and circle it, because stop it. Connections, your education, what's gonna be different? Just go ahead, write it down. Let's take 60 seconds. Set timer for 60 seconds.
60 seconds starting now.
And then that's what she wants, that's what she wants to be when she grows up. Perfect. Tell her she's hired.
Okay, guys, this is the last slide, the last of the brainstorm. Feel free to keep figuring it out, keep writing. 2031. We had Terry started us. He is going to have 1031 some stuff and put it into a trust. What was it? I abbreviated.
Irrevocable trust,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of bad.
So you're gonna 1031 into new,
Forgot that.
it'll be into new real estate, new stuff.
Well, yeah, if I keep her, going to the gravitate the newer stuff.
So you're gonna 1031.
Put a whole with heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go and travel and have some fun.
So newer property, no water heaters, and
No,
property manager. No DIY labor. Okay. And then you'll spend, did you say something about, you didn't say fishing or boat or
oh
something?
no, my wife has a whole plan. She officially retired next month, so her, it's expanding. Europe is involved.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Travel with wife.
Travel is the big word. She a teacher? Wife a teacher? No, she's a traffic manager for Oregon Potato Company. All right.
Why did you guess teacher?
My mom's a teacher and retiring from school year end, so I.
Oh, okay, I don't know why it was true.
Yeah.
I think it was because of something, she wanted to,
Smart
wanted
lady.
fun in Europe.
Like Boise, thanks.
Cool, love it. More playtime? That's mine, more free time.
Writing a book. I've
Ooh,
been actually asked to write a book for one of my children,
oh,
a book of wisdom. And I was like, wow, okay, I don't know if I have any, but I. So she actually gave me a book to fill in, so I can share it with grandkids, she can share it with grandkids. Guess I'm gonna pass here soon, I don't know.
They know something.
Exactly.
cool. Passing down the wisdom.
I think that's important.
Okay. What do you got? What's your goal or anything?
Buy my first investment property.
First investment property. What kind?
Don't you mean start investing? You could buy more than one.
Correct.
What
Yes.
kind? What's that property look like?
Whatever makes the most sense.
What are you shopping for?
I don't know. That's part of the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in Idaho? Because you're in Idaho and you want to change your own water heater for first?
I thought, that's why I've been asking about that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I think so, but I feel like in the last several years, it's been hard to find things that are maybe make as much money as other places or, so I'm wondering more about getting more comfortable with doing things out of state.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of grew up learning how to do some of that stuff and comfortable learning things. So I feel like that's my first go-to, but I don't know.
Dumb question, Stacy, but for the first, it's a really interesting point. The first investment property I would buy would be close to me, now that I think about it. Because there's so much to learn that you have to do.
Mhm.
And even if you lose a little money on that first one, it's probably the wisdom you gain would be much better and paid off.
Yeah, I mean, like if you were going to invest out of state, you'd want to assemble a team, you'd want to know how to screen the team. You'd want to have all that knowledge that Alan was just suggesting you're going to gain by your first investment property here.
That's what I feel like I've spent probably the last 3 years learning, like observing, reading books or trying to talk to people, but you just kind of have to do it, right?
Mhm.
But I also don't want to just rush into something that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm kind of inspired by your story a little bit, Terry, because that sounds like my dad. He's built a portfolio of multifamily. He did it out of state, started local, whatever, and none of us are super interested, but we kind of are. We kind of had careers, but now we're, so he's got a wealth of knowledge, and then there's also some capital too. So I feel like it's important to take a steward of that, and so that's right.
Our first house was a duplex. So we lived in one side, we fixed up the other, rented.
I think it
We
makes a lot
went
of
through that
sense.
whole
It's all that's worth it.
Yeah.
Do you own a
A
house?
lot of money.
I own my primary house. Yeah.
Okay.
My house.
And do you have a family and a wife or people filling in?
Girlfriend, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because a lot of us are, few of us' first house is a duplex, but once you move into a real house, it might be a step back to move into a duplex. So I was trying to figure out if that ship has sailed for you, or if there's any chance you could buy a crappy duplex, fix it up.
I would like to.
So you gotta, before you get married, before that decision is not your own,
Yeah.
you need to get yourself a duplex and move into it. You can put less money down, you get a slightly better interest rate, you get plenty of experience fixing it up.
Also, got a pretty good margin.
And you don't have to sell your house. You potentially could, well, depending, but you
I probably would not.
rent, and there's always cash out refis if you need a little extra. So you need to pick yourself up a duplex as soon as you can, and that's the gateway investment. And if you move into it and you live in it too, well, actually, you might never sell it. But if you do, figure out your tax benefits, but maybe you never sell it. Maybe you buy something good enough for yourself to live into. You fix up the one side, you live in it and move into the other side. Yeah, that's some of our votes. You nodded, Terry.
Absolutely.
Did you do that?
I did that, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And then you would, yeah.
Mhm.
Then when the better half is not happy with that, their family's expanding, you go from 1 kid to 3 kids, you still got a 2-bedroom place. Then you buy another fixer in Meridian. And hang the plastic and do side that's flying at night, and but at least you got the 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Stacy, would you say real estate, and since you're associated with an engineer, would you say real estate is more ready, fire, aim than the engineering ready, aim, fire? Where you can...
Paralysis
Yeah.
by analysis is a real engineering problem. And so what I hear is you've already done your homework.
Yeah.
You need to figure out what you're going to buy and where it is. You know what the returns roughly look like. You're an educated buyer. It's time to.
And that's because if you do screw up, time fixes. Real estate appreciates over time. Goes up in money.
Mm-hmm.
Lower risk.
A neighborhood maybe to watch too is John's Landing. It's off of State Street, west of Hollister. There are a lot of duplexes over there.
Dennis, do you want to sell any duplexes? Do you want to sell any duplexes? No. Me neither. I don't want to sell mine either, but yeah, John's Landing. I saw a duplex this week and I was like, who do I need to tell about this? I need to tell someone about this duplex because it had like a 1-car garage and that's rare.
Yeah. And then how are you finding properties? You go through Zillow, do you have a realtor?
Yeah, Zillow. I have a couple realtors that I reach out to whenever I am not,
You need someone like, you want a person. Like-
I've got two,
Okay, well, pick one and be
Yeah.
like, hey, it's freaking go time.
yeah.
Find me, this is what I want. You've analyzed. So today, figure out what you're gonna buy, put it on your little goal sheet. You got 3 votes for duplex, but our vote doesn't matter because it's your money. And then pick your agent and be like, hey, I want to close on something soon. This is what I'm after. And then you can really funnel in and focus in on what you're doing. And you already probably know how to spot a good deal when you see one because you've been researching. But it's nice to have someone who is like like they're doing this for you with
Yep.
you. Mm-hmm.
Respectfully, as someone that could not make decisions very easily, pick a realtor that's gonna tell you, no, this is not what you want, stop looking at it, stop sending it to me, let's
Oh.
figure it out. Yes, I'm talking about, I make decisions so fast.
I know,
We looked at 50 homes and I had to tell her, we're done.
I'm doing so mad when I go home tonight and I'm like, we're buying a duplex. But if he doesn't want, I'll just rent him the other side if you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, rent him the other side if he doesn't want to live in the other, you know?
I literally just saw a duplex and I was like, I need to know who do I like every time once in a while something catches my eye. And I was like, who needs to know? And now I don't remember anything about it.
There was
Except
you lined up on the bench that had single car garage. And
After me, you were like,
it was 2-1.
how much?
It was under 600.
Yeah, because what I noticed is it started with a 5, but it was older, which is perfect for you because that's gonna be a pain in the booty. But you got to do that to get to the thing. So yeah, buy an old. It's gonna be older, and that'll mean some money. But you got the thing, and I'll sell you my paint sprayer. I don't want it anymore.
what about free?
I
But-
look out, I would even look out like, I don't know how far you look out of town, but like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Pretty well, I think. The guy that I'm working with in Cascade, he's growing a bunch of like, but yeah, they're all, you know.
I've seen some of those.
I like it, but I've never.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. You're more like you're gravitating toward the rural, and I'm going, hey man, they don't run out of land in Fruitland. They run out of land in the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, that,
Yeah.
but I guess it just depends on what makes sense with it.
Yeah, some of the parameters that I've been talking about, mostly with my dad. 10% cash on cash and 6% cap rate, and it's like.
We gotta go back before 2015 to hit your 10% cash on
No,
cash.
that's why it's like, it's not a contingency,
Uh-huh.
but it's like I was talking about, trying to be a good steward of all his and my mom's hard work and whatever, but. That doesn't make sense, you know?
Not here.
What about neutral cash flow and taking what are the tax consequences before you decide that?
Neutral cash flow meaning what?
Meaning it's breaking even, but you get to take the tax, all the tax write-offs for that maybe amount way further than.
Yeah, a slight negative or a break even after the tax advantages of real estate investing is actually a positive per year. A net positive.
And does it matter what tax bracket you're in?
Yeah, I mean, that would matter, but it's not.
Doesn't sound like you have to worry about that.
No, but you get to write off depreciation, which you don't actually spend out of pocket. So right there, that's a write-off. And how much that write-off is worth to you matters what tax bracket you're in, and it matters on the recent tax laws and all that. But you're gonna write off depreciation, interest, actual expenses.
Travel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And then you went to the other side, so you make the money.
Mhm.
With current tax laws, that write-offs right off that are huge and then they're unbelievable what they are right now.
So tax advantages of real estate investing are one of the huge reasons to real estate invest. So that's, yeah, and it's hard, like none of our stuff, even back in my first house was a duplex in 2006 is when I bought it, and it didn't cash flow. You know, it was hard to find cash flow in 06 with whatever I put down, whatever I wanted to put down, which I think was 10%. But now it pays me, like one of the whole units actually does pay is profit.
Right.
And the unit rents for a decent amount, and it's a 2-bedroom, so you know what the averages are on that now. It's So that's just my first house.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get started, but getting started, and the other thing is what the financial advisor said when I wanted to put money into my first mutual fund. I'm like, well, hey, isn't the stock market like really high right now? Isn't this a bad time to start investing in the stock market? And he said the number one most important thing is just getting involved, getting started. Anyone else? What else we got on 2031? I don't want to
No.
overly pick on Adam.
Our goal, have our kids down, and we're going to take over the business, start making investment decisions, and get to their freedom number, the number they believe they don't. That's where we're headed.
Oh, wow. So kids' freedom month number. Kids fire, financially independent, retire early.
And our son swore he would never work on a rental, never own a rental, and now he is a
What did you-
contractor for a building.
What happened? You went to church?
Never stayed.
Wow, you're blessed. You're blessed. I don't mind you.
You know, or maybe they take the hard earnings from the real estate that you made, and maybe they invest it in the future crypto chat that doesn't exist yet and triple it faster than real estate in Idaho will. Who knows? Who knows? Anything else on 2031 goals that you want to share?
I have a couple.
Yep.
So 2031, I want to be with just maybe one young baby, running my business, traveling, investing, all that funded by real estate and real estate transactions in my business. And you talked about a regret. And looking back in 2031, I would regret if I waited for opportunities to find me instead of finding opportunities.
Your regret would be waiting.
For opportunities to find me instead of going out and finding opportunities.
Okay.
Hardcore. I'm down with. Let's have a piece.
Okay. Why do we need to put our names on, what other reasons did we have to put our names on little pieces of paper? You guys we did the paper for the various things. I think we did that. Any other reasons people needed to put names on papers?
I think if you're here tonight, you should get one free.
Freebie! Everybody gets one free admission. Write your name on a piece of paper if you haven't already.
Yes.
Actually, okay.
I don't believe in that, but I'll do it. Yeah.
Well, did you get this one? Yeah, I'm there. Okay, no problem. All paper. You'll tell us more.
Oh, forward.
Or just one to get
You go, Ken.
She's getting fired. I didn't have any time. She's fishy. I get it. I'll give it to me. Okay,
Who wants to pick? Yes.
Before things get too exciting, should I share that short-term rental?
Yep, short-term rental civic.
Okay, so I just got an email from the city of Boise last week saying that I no longer need to obtain a short-term rental permit for any of my properties.
Woohoo!
That was pretty interesting. It's not like it was crazy or anything, it's only $80 a year.
And annoying as heck.
And annoying as heck. But yeah, so I just thought that was pretty interesting, that you no longer need a permit.
Okay, no more permits for short-term rentals.
Last week showed me how the midterm rentals are actually. Oh, great, yes. I met with, myself.
It's Ray! She got herself. Do you want to plan her book? Okay, you guys, the classes are as follows. Plans on your table, a Title I book, or my book, whatever real estate investor needs to know about cash flow.
Wow,
Those are your choices of prizes.
like meaning you own
You write the
it, or
book?
you wrote that?
Oh, no, I just own it. I'm just cleaning out my bookcase. Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
yeah. Taking a plan? All right, pick one.
So there's other decision we,
I did mine. So you picked me again. We can do that.
Now you're getting a book.
All right, I'll take the book. No, I don't want that book. Get that one. Oh, that's for Dan. Oh, no, that's for me.
I let him know. Pick your name.
Danielle, you get
Don't-
plans.
It's okay. Skip me.
Maybe already.
I'll kill the plan.
What I would have done.
Daisy, yeah. Chelsea, do you want a plant or a little book?
oh, sure.
Which one?
Book.
She can take this book too.
These are the options of the
Cool.
book, just blank pages or whatever realist, I use book from my bookshelf.
Oh.
Yeah.
This one.
Okay,
Zero.
okay. Where were we?
That's really,
Okay.
that's good.
Thank you guys for your.
I know, I'm like,
I know.
Yeah, I said sorry, sorry.
I can do it, but it's me this time.
It's Jossie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't watch my airdrop song, but Kevin, you have
Adam.
Adam, participation.
I'm only saying yours there.
All right,
And I actually get it.
and you can actually plant this
Well,
in the
then,
ground.
Okay.
Yeah, the deer love them, so if you live in an area where there are deer, they would. Dogs won't eat them, but the deer will eat, like I couldn't figure out. My
Ellen.
feces.
I don't want to use
No, Deer were coming through and.
Oh, yeah. I'll leave those.
Oh, no.
Oh. That's my face. There.
Terry.
I'll take one of those plants.
Okay. Terry.
My wife will appreciate it.
Oh, good.
You gotta get on a good side.
Terry, we put her in hot water.
I go there a lot.
I asked my shoe.
I'll let you down those.
I said, "Bruce, how are you?" I said, how you doing? He said, not good.
Where is this going? This is starting Terry.
Yeah.
And then you picked Terry?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna pick- Well, I think we're good. I mean, we just have a ton of prizes in a nice small group here. This is gonna be a blank one and a Janice, who already won. Thank you, AVID investors. Thank you, everyone on Zoom. If you came tonight, you might have won a plant. Great input, great collaboration, great 100 meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Oh, and the recap is. Okay, right, the recap.
Oh, but we have our questionnaire.
Oh, did you guys fill out the questionnaire, your survey questionnaire, the feedback form? We're looking for feedback. We got more meetings planned and we've already done 100. So if you can fill out that last piece of paper that has the feedback and leave that one for us. So we know how to plot out the next 100. AVID investors need recap of the meetings. What do investors find important? What do they look back when they look in the present and they look in the future? Well, AVID has brought education, broader perspectives, and context to each of us who've attended these meetings in part or in full. In 2025, we saw a lot of people, 2015 when we started, we saw a lot of people with less equity, fewer doors, wanting to make various income types optional or wanting to quit their corporate jobs and maybe get out of DIY management or grow time. By 2026 in the present, we heard that spending time with people we love is truly important. We saw a lot of check marks on all of those goals that we had placed in 2015. And we found that people want to go fishing and have fun and get the most out of their REI, or they want to start investing in real estate. And for those folks being surrounded by all these people who've already done it, hopefully they got truly valuable advice. And the regrets were selling or waiting too long to get started or analysis by paralysis. And for 2031, we see people who want to protect their real estate from kids who may not want to keep it going by putting it in a trust that's irrevocable. We see people who want to travel, who want to be retired or travel with retired people. I'm referencing the whiteboard over here on my shoulder. We see the desire for more free time, getting a first property, writing a book, buying a duplex, getting enough passive income from real estate that their kids can enjoy the concept of FIRE, financially independent, retire early, having a kid, having money for kids, and having time for travel and a baby, and with the regret being not going out and finding opportunities, but waiting for them to find you. Thank you, AVID investors, for sharing all these key learnings.